To another video. So when we came in, we were working with our roof. Now I did come up with a solution to my little problem that we had before. Now before we moved it, now I did finish, as you can see, this side of the house and stuff like that. So when it came to the one side that we were actually having problems, I actually had a clever solution. So I finished this whole section like right here first, and then I came back on this section. Now I did not add all the way through like all those stuff, but I did come with this. So I started building, and then I worked my way back up on this, and I just slowly filled up the gap to it, and you can see it gives it more of like a blend feel, and I actually was really proud of that in the end. I did not add that one little stump, in case if you're wondering, for the one part. There we go. And I thought that that was like a kind of like a more of a clever kind of thing, because you kind of keep what you want, but you don't have to overdo for the rest of it. So now we got our base of our roof, and do you want to know something? That actually looks really sharp from the distance. Kind of looks like you've got like a bit right now because it's transparent on top, but it looks like you got a roof on a roof. But I mean, like, okay, that's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to start making our interior of our base of our house here. Now, when it comes to fat, like, we down here we have these tiles and stuff like that. When you're doing flooring, I don't know if many will probably keep like repetition, which is like keep doing the same flooring over and over and over. Entirely up to you if you would like to. But I was thinking things like you could work with so many other colors at this point. But like I say, careful with some of the colors. I mean, we could do things like spruce. We could do like basically the pale oak. I would even go in so far as if we could do something like we could do something like a quartz or something that might seem a little bit nicer. Because it kind of keeps the feel kind of fresh, but doesn't like overtake the other colors of the house. Now, you could again do the same pattern you did before. Up to you. You could do many of these different styles, depending on the floor you're going to work with. So, like, if you want to do something like this, like, look at that, like, it doesn't really like seem like overbearing and stuff like that. So you don't want to like have it where it's going to take away from the colors of your house, and you don't want to like have like 4 to 6 different colors. One of the nice things about having white is that it blends with a lot of the coloring that you mostly have, and that's the nicest part of the whole thing. Now, during this video, I was thinking a lot about the base of stairs. Now, the stairs are going to be very essential for a lot of this, because you're going to need to get up. Now, this is a much like larger home and stuff like that. I might just do a set of floating stairs. If I were to do like a double staircase, this would be kind of more of an issue. But you would need it much wider. I would say put your build about like here for start, and then kind of keep like the back of it like say about here or something. Because one thing I learned with double staircases, that's why I did it only on like mansion I built once, is you need the room to kind of like put it together. There's usually a lot of problems with room and stuff like that, and if you're going to add things like chest rooms, whatever, you need that room to kind of like add things, like if you're going to put like furniture, if you're going to get a furniture mod. I don't know if that would be anything for anybody, but that's some of the little things you got to remember. A lot of like things like, especially some furniture mods, I know they do have a lot of stuff in them, but then again, the one thing you got to remember is a lot of the stuff that these mods do have are quite large. So it will take a lot of your extra space that you have, and you don't want to have something that's going to be like like for like stairs and stuff that's going to take up a lot of that room. So like I say, I want to stick with the floating staircase. That would probably be good. I'm going to keep these floating stairs about like a 3. 1, 2, 3. So this is about as far as I'm going to go for this side. All right. Now we're going to put our staircase like roughly, I mean, depending on where you want to put them. Just be careful. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, sorry, 3. Now you're going to run into windows. This is where you would have to do a little bit of editing at that point. Oops. Like, if you were doing like that, let's just say, you could do that. Now, I might go over that with, say, slabs or something, due to the fact that it's more nicer. I just feel like it doesn't feel like fancy enough. Because if I'm using this as, like, say, like my retreat base, like that's what I was saying, I think, in my first video. I wanted to have kind of like a feel that I would like, not like, oh, it's practical or something. Like, that's one of the few things. I do love that stuff when I'm kind of like building my furniture and I'm building my, like, my houses and stuff. Like, does the staircase, or if the house does require one, like, need to have like kind of like that, like, modern look, or does it need to have like a kind of like rustic look? I mean, we could put the staircase in any color you want. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be white at this point. I'm just doing it in the basic classic white because due to the fact that it's just showing like it's going to an upper floor and stuff like that. I could even go so much as like oak or something, but then when you're coming to the top half, that's where it kind of like, it won't feel as like the same as the floor and stuff like that. So we're gonna just kind of like, I guess, get the top half of this house done first, and we're going to make sure that it kind of stays. Now we built this like brown base here. Put the top of your floor on top of that. That's why when you're building the windows as high as like I did, I leave spaces at the top for, flooring for like other levels and stuff like that. And like I say, go crazy with some of the colors if you want to go like that, or like I said, picture your surroundings and kind of go, okay, well, this will work, this won't work, whatever. The one thing I like about too with the white is there's like, you can see outside there is like white, not cheap, like white flowers and stuff like that. So I know that it's not gonna take away from like colors of like around it. Now the purple isn't like in the flowers, I get it. I just like the color, and since this is going to be kind of like my base, yeah. That's why I kind of do that. I do apologize. My phone is having a tantrum today, and I am getting tired of it. You can see it kind of glitching here. I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can, without putting too much glitches into this. Nothing new on my phone. I do apologize. I don't know what I'm going to do at this point. It could just also be that I'm working on this really fast, so like right now the frame rate is kind of like boggling out on me. I don't know what's causing like that jump in the frame rate here. All right, we're almost done here. There we go. There we go. That didn't take long, did it? There we go. Perfect. So now when we kind of like walk and stuff like that, we have a place like we could come on and down, and like I still got a lot of like room and stuff like that. Now it does feel a little dark now, but I do love that, like the feel of that little fireplace and stuff like that. Now I'm gonna probably do the same kind of like chimney all the way through the top of the house and that. And the reason for that is because you wouldn't see like one floor not having like a chimney in any house in any reality. So we're gonna do that and just be sure that it kind of blends up. Now, if you're worried about a lot of like zombies and stuff, I would try to maybe put some type of like lamp or something, kind of keep them away from that. We do have our other side entrance, like I said. And we got that one here. And we also have our front one over here, stuff like that. I went with like the screen door kind of feel. It just feels nicer because it kind of like, you know, like kind of like a ventilation feel. And I like that I can like jump without hitting my poor little head, and stuff like that. Okay, so now we got that top floor done. What I'm talking about for some of the slabbing is like this. Not the payload. Okay, we gotta go up here. There we go, quartz slabs. There we go. Now, you would want to kind of do the quartz oak slabs 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're just going to continue them up. Now, as you can see, I'm not putting them like in secrets. I'm kind of gapping these ones. Now, if you're kind of worried about this bottom one, you can kind of just go something like that. Just at the base, because like something that you kind of have to, you know, go up and get. Oops. Put extra one. Okay. Now, a lot of the window adjustment is going to be kind of a few things. That's why some people kind of just do like stairs first before they do anything else, because due to the fact that, you know, you don't want to have it looking like really bad. Now, if you want to have it so that it doesn't look like it's going to like fall out on you, the reason why I put it at that is you could actually just go like this. As you can see, I know some of the like stair things have something like that, because it looks like it's like kind of supporting the stair from, you know, collapsing. And I mean, you could do that. It's like if you like the style, go for it. So like, you know, like say if you were kind of like going, you could still kind of go upstairs. See, there you go. It's workable, and it looks cool too. And it kind of keeps that feel. Now we will work with our windows and stuff like that. Now, going back to lighting, for now, I think we're going to stick a couple of like lamps down here to give it a little bit of thing. We're going to work with our lighting soon. Stuff like that. And we're just going to just give it so people can see. Now, I don't have mobs on, so no worries. But there you go. We got like lighting. Try to get rid of all the dark spots if you can when you're doing lightings issues and stuff like that. Due to the fact that mobs will pick up in dark areas. And that's one of the few things I kind of experienced. Because when I did kind of like spaced lighting at one point, and I did have it on like a survival situation, it was kind of unfortunate because a lot of mobs were spawning in and stuff like that. I was like, well, why are they spawning in? I got my lamps up, but it was just because there's too many dark areas and stuff. Now this does feel a little dark, but I mean, we're going to add stuff later on. This is just so you can kind of see what's going on. Now, as for interior stuff, this is why I mean coming down to style, kind of like what do you want it to really look like. Now I was thinking we could do the door. And the reason for the door is it kind of gives it like a marble feel without like overdoing the colors that we've been kind of aiming with. So like coming here, you don't want it to feel like, oh, I think. Now you could do something like this. Like this. And you could just kind of like continue. No, where's this? I think it's this one. No. One thing I hate about this. Okay, alright, hang on. There we go. There. I just want to make sure I got this even. I don't like it when it feels uneven. Oh, I don't know why. It just bothers me like a whole ton. Alright, hang on. Alright. And then also the other reason why I like it is because due to the fact that kind of gives you like that kind of like bar feel. So like if you had like kind of like a chair mod, it looks like you're actually leaning up onto it and stuff like that. Now we're gonna leave a little kind of like two-way opening, I think. Yeah, that would work. Yeah. And then you could kind of go like something like this, I'm guessing. Yeah, that about there. Don't overdo it because you don't want to make it like that. And you don't even have to add this part here if you don't want. There you go. So work with styles. I say it a lot, and some people might get say, well, why keep saying styles and stuff? Well, because what I like is not what everybody else is going to like. And the colors I like is not going to be what everybody else is going to like. So work with colors you want to work with. I'm not judgmental. I don't say, oh, you got to do it this way or it's going to be the highway or something. I'm not that type of person. I'm not that type of bee. I'm just giving you guys hints on building techniques that you could add. You could do like the same style but different colors. Like, it's all up to you. Now, as for cupboards, we're going to use, at this point, barrels. And the reason for barrels is they do look a lot like cupboards. Oops, open that one up. Which is fine. We could do like something like this. Now, there's one thing I learned from building is that you could put floating cupboards in. And depending how much room you want to add into kind of like your kitchen thing, it would be up to you. So we're going to put probably like some blast furnaces at this point. We're going to put some cookers and then we're going to put some other. Okay. Now I may not have wanted to add the bottom so much, stuff like that. So if you want to add like say 2 or 4 or 6 or whatever, you could do that. 2, 3, say 4. You could probably do something like this, or you could take out the middle ones and then kind of like finish it off with let me see here. Yeah, okay, there we go. There we go. Now, for the gapping, we could use is things like okay, there we go. Make it with some things that you will need. I would put like, you know, those and stuff like that. Like that would be good, like use for cooking and stuff like that, because you do have a lot of like furnaces. So if you have enough coal to kind of like fuel that, or say you have a lava source nearby, I know it'd be a little bit of a like tanks you'd have to come back and forth. You could fill each of these gaps, or not gaps, but these furnaces with like lava, and you would get like 100 smelts easy. That's one thing I learned. Now I don't want to cover my window because if I was sitting here and I wanted to cook, I would like, oh, I gotta go see who's outside. Yeah, you could do that. So we could do that, and that works for everything. Now, as for this here, you could now at this point kind of like do something like that. I think it was two. Yeah, two. One. Oops. You gotta be careful. I would probably leave some decent gaps in between, and there. It gives you a little bit more light. I mean, if you got the room, I would say, oops, do that. I meant to get this. When working with like some builds, doesn't necessarily have to follow the same pattern like through for each of the rooms. I know most kitchens don't have even like this much and stuff like that. We do have like a covered porch, but that doesn't really give us like a kind of like a light source to see outside. Because like here, if I were to clear this up, I could see all the way through to the back of the mountains over there, and that would feel really, really nice. Now, as I'm saying, for now, just to kind of get back to what we were talking about, for our kind of like our hanging kind of thing. Now, if we could find it, I'm not going to spend time here and look for this. There we go. We're going to get some chains. And we're going to hang it just over here. Now, we're going one, two, that's three. 1, 2. Okay, yeah. And on 3. Okay. Now we're gonna, oops, get that 1, 2, and we're just gonna make sure we know where chain's gonna be. Now I'm not gonna leave the chain like here, but we want to get it to be even and stuff like that. Oops. Oops. Gotta be careful because chain does stack up. You gotta get it right up there. Okay, did I get to see it? Yes, it did. Alright, we're going to move this for. Alright. Oops. Hey, look at this. I made a ladder. There we go. So now we know where it is. So I would say when you're going to put like your covers in, this is where you kind of have to play with the height of the chain. Like even here. Now we're gonna go sit down. We're gonna crouch. And we're just gonna go there. Now you just break up your chain on the base. And you have kind of like your little floating kind of cupboards. I hope I'm not placing anymore. So it works if you like the kind of like the style. This is something I saw a long time ago. Somebody did, and I was like, hey, you know what? That's really, really cool. Because you gives you the illusion that like it's hanging from the ceiling. I know there's a lot of different cupboards that I actually realized they kind of have that. Now they would have more like a sturdier base, like more like, you know, wood pillars or something. But there are styles that kind of have like that kind of feel and stuff like that. And I mean, it looks really sharp too. And it gets that kind of like the same feel as the house has been through, because like these are like on the chain, so on and so forth. So it kind of blends it all in. If you would like to have like some other styles and stuff like that, another thing that you could do is you could easily add things like the bookshelves and stuff like that. Like you could put something like these, and you could put kind of like a cupboard system like this if you want to go. Like, so you kind of feel like, oh, you know, you can even like kind of like randomize like this, like something like where it looks like you got some cookbooks, if you like to use cookbooks in real life, that's cool, and so on and so forth. So it kind of looks like you guys, but it actually does have room now for you to store enchantment books and stuff like that. And saying that, like, you also have like you know, your table for your upgrading gear and stuff like that. Like, you would want to put things like maybe your enchantment books and put them all in there. That works. I like it, and it feels comfortable. So I know, like, later on, like, I could put some minor stuff in there. Now, we might use a little bit like that same kind of style upstairs and stuff like that, but it does help to make it look and feel a little bit nicer. So we're really coming together on like our style, stuff like that. But we do have our upstairs that we will be trying to get, you know, put together and stuff like that. Like I say, you've got like such a pretty view from here. Like, once we get it all cleared up and stuff like that, and you kind of get like around the base of this mountain and that, it will change up, because you can already see like where we partially had cleared is starting to kind of slowly like get retaken over and stuff like that. We still got some clearing to do because like it doesn't feel quite, you know, the same in that, but that would be over in the next while. I did notice, like, just one of the few things is where my cheap seed? No, that's not my cracked teeth. There we go. I forgot about this. Like, when I came over here, I forgot about that from my last time. Like, I was working on this roof. There we go. And yeah. I guess that works. Yeah. So yeah, that takes care of that. We did get some interior done. We kind of got a lot of the interior done to a point. We got like the lighting in, we got our kitchen in, we got our flooring in, which really works for us in our stairs. So that takes care of another video for building with B, and we'll catch you up on the next one. This day 3. Cheers!